These are my maker notes from my most recent make, which was called How to Live in a Trinity Row House. Um, let's see, the writing, and the connecting that I did this week was to, I wrote a log about this that I published on my blog, but basically I've been renting out my house and trying to explain to people some do and don'ts about living in a very small house like I have. And it's a historic house too, so it's fairly interesting. And I live, among others, in a courtyard where we all live in these small houses. So I realized that when I was asked to make a how-to, that it might be interesting to crowdsource more do's and don'ts from my neighbors. Just see what they had to say about what are some suggestions you have for people living or staying in these houses. And it was fun to do. I sent out an email to my neighbors. Several of them responded. I sent to neighbors I haven't talked to for a while who don't live here anymore. So everybody had a little bit of fun with it. I realized that everybody sent me a lot of don'ts. I started myself with a don't, like don't walk on in socks on the stairs. We have spiral staircases, and if you slip, it really, really hurts. So one of my advices is don't wear socks on the stairs. But leading with that prompt, when I asked everybody else, I guess, partially because I led with this, I think I got a lot of don'ts back from people. So I actually worked to make it also about do, so to take sort of a don't and make it more positive or give a positive spin on it. Although the socks thing is still a don't. There really is no positive spin on that at all. It hurts really badly if you fall down these stairs. And it's easy to do. So let's see. I'm looking through the maker's notes this week. I was inspired on the connecting and collaborating. I was inspired by others. I wanted to kind of just make a really simple document, and I noticed a bunch of people using Hackpad. And although I had used Hackpad before for some collaborative writing thing I didn't really know how it handled media, so I figured that out. That was cool. And then I was thinking about, actually, this is something that could be published in WikiHow eventually. So I thought the Hackpad was like a good place to prototype, which it turned out to be. And I could, share it with my neighbors as it was in progress. None of them logged in to edit it directly, but they would send me edits and I would update it. So, yeah, I shared it around. I also posted it on my community. My community here, my neighborhood, has a Facebook page. And I posted it there because I thought some other people who live in Trinities in this area who weren't part of brainstorming this might appreciate it. So I got several comments from other neighbors too, so that was kind of fun. I used a bunch of media in it, just in terms of what did I use. It's a digital document. I used multimedia, a video that I had, and a couple pictures that I had already. So it really didn't take me very long to compose. It was a pretty simple make to do once I had the idea and and decided what tool I was going to use to make it. And in terms of connected learning, I guess I should just jump down there. The interest powered is interesting, that's sort of clear. In this case, peer supported. But I think that the reflections on the make are really interesting because, once I reflect on it, I do notice the influence of other people on it. I notice the audience that I have for it, both maybe the original audience with people who might stay here, for instance. But then I also think that these row houses are historic, so I think that there's kind of like a larger audience. There's not a lot written about them online, so I think that it's kind of on the web. I think of it as sort of a larger audience and connected to, a little bit of a small sector of people who might be interested in these houses. Plus, you know, my neighbors and other people who would get a kick out of it just because they have similar experiences as me. The other thing I did that I am really interested in the history, so I did link some historical documents, and I've been over time gathering historical documents, so it's a nice way to bring a bunch of those historical documents together that I've found online. I learned a bunch of new things. Trinities, another name for trinities, are bandboxes. Bandboxes, looking that word up was interesting because it ranges from, you know, a box that a band might sit in, or a prescribed area, sort of small box, to a brothel. So I thought that was interesting, and I couldn't really find out more why these houses were called that. They were workers' houses, and I wouldn't say this house is particularly conducive. Well, I guess you can have a brothel anywhere, but it's not like the house is particularly conducive to an active brothel, I would say. So, so I'm not sure where that comes from, but anyway, that was interesting. That was something new that I learned, a new word, a new idea. And yeah, I guess the whole how-to thing has gotten me thinking about other things that I'm interested in, little esoteric things that I happen to know about that maybe other people don't know as much about, so it would be useful to publish something about it, you know, sort of thinking in that way. For instance, I just ate some popcorn, and I make my own popcorn. I just get kernels and put them in a pan and cook them, and pop the corn myself. And a lot of people these days actually don't make popcorn. And a friend of mine showed me how to make popcorn in college, and I've been making popcorn ever since. And I put lots of different flavorings on it and everything, and I realized actually it's probably kind of useful for us to remember how to make popcorn without a microwave and without a pre-packaged thing. And I mean, I know some people do know this, but I do have certain skills, like the little things that I'm always sure to do when I make my popcorn. So it makes me realize, like, oh, I do have this like funny little knowledge about making popcorn on the stove. So anyway, kind of fun to surface those kind of ideas. And yeah, what advice would you give someone who's just starting to make like this? I don't know, just I guess with the how-to, I found it, you know, was sort of an act of appreciating some of the things that I know, which itself is probably just a good and healthy process. Okay, thanks for asking. Talk to you later. Bye.